I get your point there, and that's obviously why people are using oregano in substitution of what doesn't exist, which is oregano. My point is the Chicago Tribune leaked this recipe as if it was factual without doing any further fact checking on it to see if it was authentic or not. If they did, they would have seen the misspell. If they had walked a few feet to the back and gone in the spice room, they could see the Kentucky Fried Chicken packaging from the 1960s and the 2020s that show ingredients that have changed over the years based on FDA requirements. Joe has garlic salt listed on his recipe. Kentucky Fried Chicken has garlic powder listed on theirs. White and black pepper were the only things Joe had correct on his recipe in comparison to what Kentucky Fried Chicken reveals. Salt is on Joe's recipe as one of the 11. Colonel Sanders himself had told my grandfather, my great-grandfather, his brother, he's told his sister, my cousin Lee, his nephew, who knew what the recipe was. When he instructed Claudia on how to make it, salt was not part of the 11. We were to mix the seasoning, the 11 herbs and spices, and those would get packaged up and sent to the franchisees. The people at the franchises were responsible for mixing it with the flour, and they were instructed to mix the salt in after the flour was properly mixed with the 11 herbs and spices. But everybody wanted to spread it around like Joe's telling the truth here. People are calling him the Colonel's own nephew. He was not. He was a step-nephew. Normally, my family doesn't single out step-family because we have a lot of step-family and we treat them like blood. But this guy has been tarnishing the Colonel's legacy through what he does. Now, he himself was a very well-known and respected educator in Corbin, Kentucky. I'm not going to diss his education career, but I'm going to diss his spelling or whoever he had spell on that recipe. I don't care how good of an educator somebody is. When you start lying on the Colonel's name and spreading around things for attention, I have a problem with that. And his family came on my page to back it up, saying that's the Colonel's handwriting. KFC sued them to tell people it wasn't. So why are they on my public page, especially TikTok, which was viral at the time, telling people that it is the recipe if they were sued to tell people it wasn't the recipe? And they went from bragging about the Colonel being their uncle to then hating on him and saying he was a disgusting human being, among a bunch of other things, which I screenshotted it all and put it in a video here on YouTube. These people responsible for this fake recipe being leaked are simply looking for clicks and views and attention. I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. The only nephew that knew the recipe in full was Lee Cummings. My uncle James Sanders knew part of it, and the only other person that knew it other than the Colonel and the family 100% was Claudia Price, his second wife. And she was a wonderful woman. And it's a shame that her nephews, her family, is tarnishing the family legacy by spreading around this misinformation.